they would not have even read the Bible cover to cover, even once, but they would have become the church leaders.
So to become a pastor, do they have to work this hard?
Why would that person not get into the missionary business if he sees easy money?
In the first episode, we talked about the conversion business and the caste system in Christianity. Mr. Jerome, I want to know more. In Hinduism, to become a priest, they have to study a lot of religious texts, and the best one becomes the priest of the temple. So to become a pastor, do they have to work this hard?
Yes and no is what my answer is to your question. So there is the organized church and the unorganized church. The very early churches, which is to a large extent the Catholic Church, has a strict curriculum for anybody who aspires to be a priest. The traditional Catholic Church, there is a curriculum. A person who wants to become a priest, it takes anywhere between 8 to 10 years. There is a nice joke which I want to tell you.
Yeah.
During my school days, I remember a lot of people, my peers and my seniors used to tell that if you get 80% in your college or your school, then you can become an engineer. If you get more than 60%, you can become an accountant. But if you get less than 40%, you are fit to become a priest, fit to become a missionary.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about what happens today in the current day missionary business. There is no formal training for the missionaries who are engaged in militant conversion business. They do a crash course. I bet you they would not have even read the Bible cover to cover, even once, but they would have become the church leaders. Bible has anywhere between 66 to 80 odd books, depending on the denomination. But today, what the foreign missionaries do is, they come for a short trip, they catch some bakras in the villages or in the remote areas. They find who's the smartest guy, give him the opportunity, saying that if you start building a church, if you start getting into the business of conversion, you will become a pastor. And for all this, there is something called money.
Yes.
The poor people in remote areas look forward towards money, a daily income. And if they get money, free money, without hard work, but purely on a door-to-door campaign to do conversion, and if they're getting money, why would they not get into the business of conversion?
Yeah.
And once they establish a church where there are a lot of people, then money flows in from inside, from outside, from top and from bottom.
Yeah.
There's money and money everywhere.
Yes.
The life of the person changes.
Yeah.
Why would that person not get into the missionary business if he sees easy money?
We have heard many stories and news where these pastors were found in compromising positions with nuns and other ladies. Can you throw some light on it?
I do not know if I have to put a spotlight or a floodlight.
Okay.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, with power comes irresponsibility.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there has been only one conviction in this country of a priest who raped a minor girl, and he is 52 years old and she is, I think, 16 years old. Because of the DNA test that was done, he was convicted. But like them, there are many who are scot-free. Do people know the amount of sexual abuse that happened in the United States? I'm sure many would have followed it. Children, altar boys, women, so many of them were sexually abused. And what did the church do to them? In spite of bringing this to the notice of the higher authorities, instead of throwing them out of the church, what was done? Do you know that? They were transferred from one place to another. What a sad situation.
Yeah.
The community knows about all these things, but they do not want it to be spoken in public.
Yeah.
When I raise voice, the question that is asked to me is, why are you putting down the community in front of the public? They want us to hide these things under the carpet. This is something which is unacceptable, which is a sad thing. But unfortunately, that's the truth. This is not just with one church, with almost all the churches, because there is access to money, there is access to resources, there is access to men, women, and children.
Yes. What do you have to say about the anti-conversion law, right to religion and its clauses?
I will be more than happy if the anti-conversion law is passed in this country. It is not that the anti-conversion law has not been passed. It has been passed in several states in this country. But it is a toothless tiger. Tell me, how many of them have been convicted for conversion? There is a need for an anti-conversion law on similar lines of that of what has been implemented in Israel. The government has got an overwhelming majority in the parliament. It is a growing menace. The government needs to think about it, needs to debate about it, and then ensure that it passes the anti-conversion law. So there is something called the right to religion in the constitution.
Then who was responsible to add it into the constitution?
In the Constituent Assembly, there were three main people who were responsible, who got these three clauses passed in the constitution. Right to practice, right to profess, and right to propagate. Propagation is very synonymous to the Abrahamic religion, and it doesn't fit into the Hindu context. Unfortunately, they had a way to push it through. I'm still wondering, why was there no much objection? Why was there no much discussion on the word called propagate? And this particular clause is the one used or abused today by the Abrahamic religions to spread their gospels. I don't want to take the names, but those three people were definitely Christians. Christians in the Constituent Assembly who were well aware that they want to preach, they want to do missionary work, they want to enlarge their house. They were the people who intentionally put this word propagate in the constitution.
Yeah. We see a lot of Christians copying the Hindu culture. What is the agenda?
The agenda is two-phased.
Okay.
One is inculturization. The other is, I would say, camouflage and get into the Hindu society and do conversion. Today, I am surprised, I am shocked to see people wearing saffron dresses in the church. Church leaders are wearing saffron dresses. Church is following yoga. Church is encouraging bindi, the tilak. These were the same practices the church said few years back that it is anti-Christian. What my take is, the church wants to use these same Hindu practices so that they can familiarize Hindus and then do the conversion business. That is what I feel is the agenda. If the church really want to say, yes, we are part of Hindu culture, Indian culture, the first thing that I expect from the church is to apologize unconditionally for these same practices which was practiced hundreds of years back and the people were put to death. The Goan Inquisition is testimony for this. I want people to read the book on the Goan Inquisition, how hundreds and thousands of people were massacred for a simple reason that they practiced Hindu culture. Though they were converted, they practiced Hindu culture and they had to undergo a lot of atrocities.
Jerome has gone one step further and written to the Prime Minister to relook at the right to religion, specifically in reference to the clause of propagate. Thank you, Mr. Jerome, for letting us know about these things. See you all in the next episode of Jesus with Jerome. String is available in Hindi, Kannada and Telugu as well. Please subscribe to your favorite regional channel, like and share the video. Please support us through Patreon and one-time payment options. See you again in the next video of String Reveals.